Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share my first alternative using the May Paper Pumpkin Kit called The Best There Is. So before we get started, let me take care of some business. First, I want to thank those of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. We've reached 3,100. And I'm going to set a goal. Let's hit 3,500 by the end of this kit before our June kit comes. So, and I'll show the June kit in a second when we go to hands down. The other bit of business I need to tell you is today is May 20th, but tomorrow, Tuesday, May 21st, Stampin' Up! Is having a free shipping for 24 hours for merchandise purchases of $75 or more. So I want to share how that works with Paper Pumpkin when we switch to hands down. So let me switch to that now so we can show you that. Let me switch screens real quick. Okay, here is the May Paper Pumpkin Kit, and the alternative we're going to make is going to use this base as well as this, and we're going to make two using both of those. So stay tuned to that. And this fits in one of my large envelopes, which is my favorite things, which I explain every time in case there's someone new. So my favorite things are items that Stampin' Up! Does not sell that I love to use in my craft room to organize my supplies. I've heard from a few of you that I've really helped you organize your kits, and I'm glad this has helped you. So this is a large 7x9 envelope that stores all your Paper Pumpkin goodies, just like that, rather than the box. And then I have some smaller ones that you'll see later on. These are items from Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, and I have links in this video of where you can find these. Just click on the more beside the description, and then you'll have to do more again to expand the description of the video, and there will be links. They're safe links from Amazon, and it's at no cost to you. Just I get a few pennies back at no cost to you for recommending these products. So if you've used those, thank you very much for your support. Now here is my Paper Pumpkin flyer that I made. Let me hold it up. Okay, so free shipping day tomorrow. So it is for $75 or more. So just a 3-month Paper Pumpkin subscription would not work. You would need to add something to get up to $75. And so I divided that out. And so if you were to get this prepaid subscription with a few more items to reach the $75 merchandise, your monthly Paper Pumpkin cost would be $23.67 plus tax if applicable where you live. Without the free shipping, it would cost you $26.27. So you'd actually pay more than the normal $25. There it is. $25 is how much it is monthly. But if it helped you get up to reward dollars, then maybe that would be worth it to you. Now, the 6-month is one of my favorites. You actually drop down to $21.75 per month on free shipping day. When it's not free shipping day, it comes to $24.14 plus tax, which is still cheaper than the $25, but the prepaid shipping day is my favorite time to renew my subscription. And this one came just in time because this May kit was my last prepaid subscription. If you want to go ahead and get it for a year, you save an additional $75 on the kits, and so that shows you what it is. When it's not free shipping, it'd be $23.13 or $31 plus tax. So what does this mean? Okay, it means you can prepay and get whichever one you choose, and then you will get 6 Paper Pumpkins. It doesn't matter if you say, hey, I need to skip a month, you're going to be out of town, or you just, maybe that kit doesn't interest you, although I find them all very interesting, then you can still skip. It's called suspend in your account, and you will skip that kit, and you will still get the next kits, and up to a total of however many you prepay. So you don't lose anything. They do not have to be consecutive months. So it just means that you're going to prepay and get that many kits. So I hope that explains it. I know there's sometimes some confusion there. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. Now, if you do subscribe and use myself as your demonstrator when you purchase these kits and then enter the code that'll be emailed to you with me, you will get from me, I'm trying to find one here. Here is last month's. You will get a little sleeve to store your stamps in, and I do put the pre-printed one here in the back. You will also get a little ink, coordinating ink spot square, and wouldn't you know it, I don't have any on my desk. Let me see. Here's how I store mine. This is an old clamshell from our wood-mounted boxes, but that way I can store all my paper pumpkin ink spots upside down, and that way the ink is always on top, much like our regular ink pads. So you'll get that as well as a PDF of when I make these alternatives. I do send a PDF out to my subscribers. Now, if I have a cut file and you have a scan and cut and you're a subscriber of mine, I email that out for free. Now, if you're not a subscriber of mine, say you're your own demonstrator, but you have a scan and cut, I do usually put those cut files out on Etsy. Just let me know you're interested in that, because there's quite a few fees with listing on Etsy, so I don't do that until I know someone might be interested. So I haven't created one yet. I haven't had to use it, but let's get started with our alternatives. So like I said, you want to start out with one of these bases and this pretty piece right here. Okay, and then I used the Radiating Stitches dies, and this was an online exclusive item. It's not in the catalogs, and the item number for this is 161695. Now, I do also have a host code for May. I forgot to point that out. So this is going on now, and you can use that tomorrow on free shipping day if you so choose to use me as your demonstrator. Okay, and then we're going to also use an envelope. Now, I've pre-cut the envelope a lot. Let me not steal the show of the other ones. So we get these pretty wood grain envelopes. Now, I have torn mine all apart. Okay, so I have cut it, and then this is the bottom flap. Okay, you can see here. And so I've cut out a circle from the Radiating Stitches dies, and I chose the second largest, which is about the size of the one they included in the kit. Okay, and then we'll do some other items. So grab these items out. You may want to cut those. Here this shows where I cut that out. All right, so let's get started. I already have one made, and then I'm using the other half to create the one here with you. So let's get started. Like I said, here's the other half of the blue card base from the kit. I always put my cards on a thick white card base, and I want to have this one. Well, you know what? I didn't put one together yet. I laid it out because I was wanting to make sure I wanted it. So here's what you want to do. I took this piece from the kit, and I took the Radiating Stitches die, this largest square rectangle, not a square, here. So you can see it's missing out of this. So I took that and I cut out the center of it. Now you do want to be mindful where the center is, so kind of just get your ruler, measure, tape it down, and then run it through your die cut machine, and you're going to have this. Save the inside piece for our next card. So let me put these back in the envelope so I don't lose them. All right, so actually I was backwards. Save this for the next card. This piece, the inside, goes on this card. So the next thing I did was simply take that punched or die cut circle. Now, if you just had a punch and wanted to punch out your envelopes, this one is about 2 5/8 maybe is how big that is. So something like that. And then we're going to use our stamp to stamp the trees down on there. Now mine fell on the floor, so let me grab it. Okay, so this is a beautiful stamp that we got in this kit, and I just love these trees. And I didn't want to stamp them in Misty Moonlight. That's what came in our kit. And the ones already done in the kit are in Early Espresso. But I wanted to use Mossy Meadow for my trees. So you can do whatever color you want, or just use the ones in the kit. I just thought I would start by using my own in case I do something else with the ones in the kit. All right, and then I'm just going to stamp right on here. Hope I didn't get my head or my hair in the camera. So that is going to be our trees. And I did good. So got a full image. Let me set that over on my chamois. Set this aside to let it dry, just in case sometimes the envelope paper is a little slick and it may need to dry. All right, it doesn't matter which one we pick. I have already trimmed the card base piece from the kit, this blue, to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's just my preference. I love to leave a little white border around the card. I just think it adds more layers without actually adding a layer. Now, I would use my fine tip glue bottle, but I think I've set it somewhere it doesn't belong. So I just got the regular bottle. This is a multi-purpose glue. I love it because it gives me wiggle room. And we're just going to put that right down on the card. And it gives me wiggle room to center it. If you hurry. And it dries fairly quick, so that's what I like about it. I always like to give it a little rub, which helps spread any glue down in underneath there. All right, so we're going to take this piece and we're going to do like this. And then I've already pre-stamped a sentiment. I did like that last quarter's add-on dies had a label die. So since a lot of you may have this fits the Father's Day sentiment perfectly. So I have it on a block right here. And I'm going to get out my Stampin' Pierce mat because it is a photopolymer. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight for this. Okay, I just happen to have the full-size pad. Okay, let's ink it up well. Now, I know I told you in my unboxing, the first time you use them, do it in Versamark, which I have already done several times with Versamark. And that really helps the ink to stay. Let me see if I can get this straight like that. Okay, so be sure and test all your stamps like I say in my video, because Stampin' Up! Can only guarantee a replacement for 90 days. You know, that's a little crooked. Let me see, I should have one already done. I do. Maybe it's not that crooked. I can use it on my next one. So, and then we're going to go like this. And then I just decide which ones I want on dimensionals. So I think I am going to glue this flat down onto, there it is, my one in my fine tip glue bottle. I had to refill it the other day. Okay, and I'm just going to set it in the corner, being mindful to try to get like an equal border top and side. Well, decide which way you want it. I think I like the wood planks going down. Didn't even know to look for that earlier. I think I just set them down like that. Now, with the one we did on the envelope, this is going to be fairly thin. If you wanted to, you could cut another even white and set this on top. I'm going to go ahead and go with it and just make sure I put plenty of dimensionals. I always cut my dimensionals, large dimensionals, in half so that it's still enough, and then I can just spread them all over. So that's only going to be using 3 total dimensionals. But I wanted to give it good support since it is the thin envelope paper. peel these off and get them off the side there. I think that's all of them. And then we're going to put this in the corner like this. Okay, and then we're going to put our Happy Father's Day here. Now, if you don't want to do Father's Day, we have lots of sentiments from past paper pumpkins, or maybe you have purchased some sentiment stamps. And speaking of sentiment stamps, I have a brand new one that came, I believe it's an online exclusive also, and its item number is 163691. It's called Comforting Thoughts, and it has some nice comforting thought sentiments in there. I use these on my last month's paper pumpkin as well. So this is a new one. I just thought I would point that out. But this is for a Father's Day card. Now, I have my father and my father-in-law, so I'm not going to attach that in case I create my other ones as Father's Day card. But I wanted to show you that as an option. If I were going to make this, I would also put it on dimensionals, just like that. So from that one card base, we can do 2 just like that. All right, so, and I already have my second one cut as well to make these. All right, so that is my first alternative for this month's kit. Let me put all my goodies away, including the die piece. These are the smaller ones. These are the 5x7 envelopes, which I do card kits in. All right, now we're going to bring out this piece, and I use the larger part of the envelope for this. Now, I cut out the center only because it's my first alternative, and I want to make sure I have plenty of wood pieces. So I knew this would cover it, okay? And then we're going to make a scene for the inside of this. All right, so let me get out my Stampin' Pierce mat again. Okay, and we're going to use that large tree stamp again. And I can set these all over the place. Oh, it's over on my chamois. Okay, let me make sure it's not wet. All right. So again, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow again. You could use the early espresso like the other trees. I just wanted it to be green. And we're going to do a second generation ink on this. So what that means is you're going to ink it up. Okay. You're going to stamp. Now I'm going to do this one kind of in the center down low. That might have been a little too low. And then without re-inking, I'm going to scoot over and raise it up a little bit and stamp again. That way the trees look like they're a little further in the background, maybe up on a hill a little bit, just to give it some interest. So I want a second generation ink there. So I'm going to ink it up, and I need a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it on here. And then I'm going to stamp on my scene here. Okay, I like that. So no special place. You do just want to make sure that when you go to put this on, your trees will show. And I didn't tell you the measurements of this piece. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So that fits to go on that frame that we cut out with the radiating stitches die. All right, we can put that away. But I wanted to add sky and grass to this. So I'm going to get out my glass mat, and it's reflective. So excuse my lamp light when I get this out. You could also use a laminated grid sheet or something like this. I really was hoping this would be available to customers and now with the new catalog, but they haven't said anything about it yet. So be patient if you're waiting on this one. I'm hoping it comes out. All right, I happen to have a small brush that I've dedicated to Balmy Blue, and this one I dedicated to Mossy Meadow. And the reason I like to use either a laminated sheet, and I gotta try not to shake my table, is I can start the ink off over on my glass mat. and then just slowly bring it into my paper. Now I'm really not even pressing, I'm just setting the brush on there. Now I only want sky to go up to the highest tree level that you have. So they're all going to be different. So just that's what I decided. I don't know if there's a okay, and I wanted it fairly light. So just like that, looks good to me. And then I'm going to do the same for grass on the bottom, but I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow. Now, Mossy Meadow is a pretty strong color, so you really want to be sure and rub off some on your glass mat. And again, I'm just going to barely set it down on there until ink starts to come off. And then as I go, I can give it just a little bit of a heavy hand there. And so it's okay if you go up. To me, it just looks like that grass is on a hill, or in those trees, there's a hill there. So I like the interest that that gives it. So you can make yours however you see fit. Okay, let me set these aside and we can get rid of our glass mat. The also neat thing is that ink will kind of reactivate the next time you use it. Let me set this mat down. Okay, and get back to our card pieces. So we have this. This. Now I did use the retired stitched rectangles to cut out the center. You could use any squarish die that you have, or just not do it because we have several envelopes. But I just thought I'd be a little stingy with my supplies, so that in case I came up with some other alternatives using those cards. All right, we need another thick white card base. And it looks like this is the bigger side. Now, I didn't explain that. So I make my own card bases by scoring, okay, and then cutting in half the thick white cardstock. And then when I do that, sometimes there's one side that's just a hair larger, and I want that to be the front. So we're going to adhere this down. Now, when I cut this one, I decided to do it almost a full card front. It's maybe 1/16 inches smaller than the card front. You could cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I find that 1/16 of an inch helps me get it on there. Or you could do my usual 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which is in the finished one that I'll show you here in a second. So again, you want the wiggle room, and this is envelope paper, so it's quite thin. So you want to be careful when you're smoothing it down and that it didn't pull like my first side did. Okay, and then we're going to attach this to here. So the best way I know to do this, and I've shown my big ATG gun before, I have so much of this that I need to use it because I do use my liquid glue most often. Let me get out my silicone mat, wherever it went to. Well, I have this cutting mat so I don't get it all over my paper. Okay, and you want to put it right on the edge of this frame. This is very sticky. So a tape runner, you could also take glue dots and stick them along the side. And then when you flip it over, if you use the tape runner, some of it might have gone to the front, and I just roll it to the back, especially in the corners. Okay? All right, and then you want to put your scene onto that. Now, I'm just going to hold it up. I want the base of those trees to show right there. And then you can stick it down. If I have any more, I do use my, I think it's called a gum eraser. It's a like glue eraser. And this thing is also one of my favorite things. I've had it ever since I started crafting. I started crafting as a scrapbooker. But then once my pictures got to digital, I started doing digital scrapbooking. So, and then my love for card making came from that. Because one thing, you can make a card in a day and be done. Scrapbooking, I was never done. So it just kept going and going. Got the negative pieces. Okay, so this we're going to put on dimensionals. Oops. It's this piece, right? Yes, this piece. You may also want to cover up where you're attaching your scene just to help hold that in tight. What do you guys think of these alternatives? I need my scissors to cut some more in half. Like I said, I never steer away from a kit just because they say it's meant for whatever it's meant for, because you can put any sentiment on these to make it whatever card you want. Like someone said, my favorite one is thinking of you, because it can be anything. You can be thinking of you on your birthday, thinking of you because I heard you weren't feeling well, you know, all kinds of ways, or just thinking of you. So I wanted to say hello. All right, so I put, what did I put? 8, yes, on there. And I'm going to center this on the card front. And there we go. Now, for this one, I wanted to show a tip that if you just wanted Father's Day, not the whole Happy Father's Day to you, just get your stamp. Make sure it's clean. All right, and then you can put washi tape on it. I have some that doesn't stick really strong, and that's the one I'm going to use for this video. All right, and you just cover up that to you. Okay, so I've covered it up. Now with my large ink pad, I can also just try not to be too messy with it and go right on the edge, inking up to Father's Day. Now, I covered up the wrong thing. Okay, you too can make YouTube videos showing your alternatives. I need to read. I want to cover up to you. Okay, let's do this one more time. Yeah, I'm going to switch around. Okay, so cover up the words you don't want inked. With the large pad, I can be pretty careful and just get those letters itself. But as a precaution, I put that tape there. Now, before you stamp, you want to take that tape off so you don't get that on your label. And I have a little side piece from the envelope here. And I'm going to do my best to center it up. I don't think that's very centered, but we'll see how I did. I did pretty good. And do Happy Father's Day like that. And then you can just trim it. I went from the side that doesn't have the overlapping where the envelope comes in. So keep that in mind if you want to use that side piece. It may also be a little crooked because it gets bigger as you go. And see, I didn't let that one dry, so it's smeared. So the envelopes are sometimes has a little more sheen to it, and then your ink can smear. But pretend like that's not smeared. And then if you needed a Father's Day card, you could put it right here, okay? Or use any sentiment you want, the thinking of you, etc. So that is my second alternative, and this shows it with a white label. It covers up a lot of the trees, so that's why I didn't want to use a big label there. So how are we doing on time? Did really well on time. I have a few more made up, but I'll do those another day. I hope everyone enjoyed these alternatives. Leave me a comment below if you're watching, where you're from. If you're new and you've subscribed, also let me know that. Let me switch back to me. You know what, before we go, I'll re-show the alternatives. Here's the one I made previously. Again, no sentiment yet. I did use the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 sentiment. And then I put up the other ones. I didn't pre-make one of these. I just had the idea. So here is this one without a sentiment. But again, I would show it up here on dimensionals like that. So let me know what you think about those. The best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up, and share this with your paper crafting friends. I'll switch back to me. Hello. So like I said, the best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up, and share this with your other paper crafting friends. Until my next video, I hope you've enjoyed this one. If your kit hasn't come, I hope it comes really soon. So I have a great day, everyone. And don't forget, free shipping tomorrow, one day only, for merchandise of $75 or more. If you have any questions, you can leave those for me below, and I'll be looking for them. So until my next video, everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.